It was a Tuesday meant to fade into the blur of routine. The air smelled of coffee and lemon cleaner, sunlight spilling through the kitchen window, warming the hardwood. Mark Ellis, off from his hardware store job, wrestled a leaky faucet, its drip a 3-week annoyance. His wife, Laura, juggled a conference call in the dining room, laptop buried in notepads, her fourth coffee cooling. Their son, Ethan, 10 and autistic, had just entered his therapy room at 9 a.m., his ritual precise. He shut the custom soundproof door, flipped on his blue salt lamp, and settled under his weighted blanket, headphones on, ready for his Zoom therapy. Ethan thrived on numbers, memorizing license plates like TRI-VYA, but loud noises and chaos unraveled him. His therapy room, once a cluttered closet, was now his sanctuary, foam-insulated, softly lit, muted colors, built to shield him from the world's unpredictability. That door was sacred. When closed, it demanded respect. Until it didn't. Mark was under the sink, wrench in hand, when a pounding shook the front door sharp, heavy, not a neighbor's knock. The clock read 9:07 a.m. Laura called. "Mark, can you get it?" "I'm on with clients." Wiping his hands, he opened the door a crack. 2 men loomed, broad-shouldered, in navy polos stamped HOA enforcement. No badges, no IDs, no marked vehicle. The taller one, in a bulky tactical vest, clutched a clipboard. The shorter one, mirrored sunglasses glinting, smirked. "Complaints about unauthorized modifications," the tall one said, voice flat. "We're inspecting." Mark's gut tightened. "Complaints? From who?" They ignored him. "Illegal room conversion." "We need entry." Mark stepped forward. "That's my son's therapy room." City approved. "HOA has no say." The short one scoffed. "That's what you think." His arrogance sparked Mark's rage. These weren't officials, they were predators. Mark blocked the doorway. "Show me paperwork or leave." The short one shoved past, shoulder slamming Mark's chest. The door flew open. Both men stormed inside, moving with chilling precision. "Hey!" Mark shouted, stumbling. Laura rushed from the dining room, eyes wide. "What the hell?" The tall one pointed down the hall. "That the room?" Mark barred the way. "Get out!" The short one got in his face, a scar VY Cybele above his collar. "Step aside." Then, a sound, Ethan's high, frantic wail, raw with panic, the kind that hit when his world collapsed. They'd opened his door. Mark lunged, but the tall one slammed him against the wall, a picture frame shattering. Laura screamed, "Stop!" Through the half-open door, Mark saw Ethan, curled in the corner, hands over ears, eyes glassy with terror. The short one grabbed the therapy door and, with a sickening crack, tore it off its hinges, wood splintering, metal twisting. It crashed like a wounded beast. Ethan's sanctuary was VYOLAT. "You're in violation," the tall one droned, as if reading a script. "Unauthorized structure, medical use without approval." Laura dropped beside Ethan, shielding him, her voice shaking. "He's a child." "Get out." They didn't budge, inspecting the room like it was a crime scene. The short one toyed with Ethan's sensory disc, smirking. They didn't see a boy in meltdown, they saw a target. Mark's rage boiled. These weren't HOA, they were scammers, preying on vulnerable families. He grabbed his phone, dialing 911. "2 men posing as HOA broke into my home," he told the dispatcher, voice steady. "They assaulted me, destroyed my autistic son's therapy room. He's in meltdown. Send real cops." The dispatcher took the address. Mark glanced outside. Neighbors gathered. "Mrs. Torres filming, Mr. Hayes on his phone, others watching, tense." The short one noticed, cursing, and slammed the front door. "Too late," Mark said. "They're recording." Ethan's wails pierced the air, Laura whispering. You're safe, baby. But her trembling betrayed her. The men stood like jailers, one by the broken door, one eyeing Mark. Mark's fists clenched, but he held back, lunging would escalate this. Then, a familiar engine growled outside. Tires crunched gravel. A door slammed. Mark's father, Henry Reed, 73, retired Marine Master Sergeant, stepped through the chaos. Short, wiry, he moved like a storm held in check, his eyes scanning the wreckage, Ethan's shattered door, Laura's tears, Mark's fury. He locked onto the men. Step away from my grandson, he said, voice low, ironclad. The tall one advanced. This is HOA business. Back off. Henry didn't flinch. In one fluid motion, he grabbed the man's wrist, twisted, and dropped him with a cartilage-popping snap. The man screamed, collapsing. The short one charged, but Henry pivoted, redirected his momentum, and floored him with a knee to the back. Zip ties appeared from Henry's pocket, his hands looping them with practiced ease, binding both men's wrists. No rage, just precision. Henry dragged them outside, neighbors gasping. 15 lined the street, phones out, filming. A teen muttered, "That's Ethan's grandpa." Henry hauled the men to the block's stop sign, zip-tying them to the pole. "Move, and I won't be gentle," he warned, voice carrying. The crowd erupted, claps, gasps, a cheer. "Mrs. Torres streamed live, comments flooding. "Fake cops busted! Hero grandpa!" Mark followed, Laura cradling Ethan, his sniffles softening. Ethan nodded at Henry, a tiny gesture of trust. Sirens wailed, 2 patrol cars rolling in, lights flashing. A female officer, sharp-eyed, demanded, "Names?" The short one smirked. "HOA enforcement, CIVYL code protected." She yanked their IDs laminated fakes. The older officer confirmed, "Not in any system. Vehicle's plates are bogus." A detective, scarred and quiet, pulled Mark aside. "They've hit 3 counties, targeting special needs families, faking violations to extort money, or worse, sometimes they try to take kids, claiming emergency evaluation." Mark's stomach churned. Laura, overhearing, clutched Ethan tighter. "Why us?" Mark asked. "Your son's room, VY Seibel from the yard." They scout vulnerabilities. The crowd roared as the men were cuffed, their smugness gone. A reporter arrived, filming. "Fake HOA thugs invade autistic boy's safe space, stopped by veteran grandfather." The story exploded Reddit, X, news outlets. At a community meeting, neighbors clashed. Some, led by Mrs. Klein, defended the HOA, blaming Mark for escalating, with cameras he'd installed post-incident. Others, like Mr. Hayes, rallied for Henry, revealing similar scams. A small protest erupted. Klein's group waved signs. "HOA protects." Hayes' crew countered, "Defend our kids." Henry stayed silent, but his presence quelled the room. Later, a note slid under Mark's door. "You'll pay for exposing us." The detective traced it to the scammer's crew, tied to a larger extortion ring. The therapy room was rebuilt in 48 hours, neighbors pitching in. Ben, a contractor, donated lumber. Mrs. Torres brought sensory toys. Ethan stayed silent, ghost-like, until one morning, tugging Mark's sleeve. "Grandpa stopped the bad guys," he whispered. Mark dropped a plate, shattering it. Laura rushed in, and they cried, Ethan's words a lifeline after 72 hours of silence. Henry spoke at a packed town hall, his marine jacket crisp. "People fix what's broken, not systems," he said. "I just protected my family." The applause thundered, a rally for justice. CNN, NPR, and advocacy groups amplified the story. Letters poured in. A mother. "You made me strong again." A teen sent Ethan a comic of Zip Tie Grandpa. The stop sign became a shrine. Neighbors left flowers, a flag, a spray-painted message. Justice stood here. Laminated screenshots of Henry's stand appeared, captioned, "This is courage." Some called Henry a hero, others, like Klein, whispered he'd gone too far, his zip ties. Vigilantism. Online, debates rage: was Henry's force justified, or did he risk escalating a volatile situation? The HOA reformed, transparency mandated, but whispers of the scammers' network lingered, their note hinting at untouchable allies. Ethan resumed therapy, drawing a hero shielding a boy from shadows, labeled, "Safe now." Mark framed it beside the stop sign's message. At a block party, a plaque honored Henry. "For those who protect without fear." Ethan gave him a drawing the caped stop sign. Henry's eyes glistened. The sign still stands, ribbons tied to its base, a quiet reminder: justice wears no badge, but sometimes carries zip ties and walks like a Marine.
If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back, or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.